Project Zomboid is an isometric realistic RPG zombie game set in the imaginary city of Louisville, Kentucky. Project Zomboid also emphasizes survival more than anything. Seriously, the depth of Project Zomboid is insane. You have to worry about your food, water, stamina, sickness, and even your weight. But the worst thing is that none of those really matter, because all it takes in this game is just one bite to end your run. Now, I'm not a pro at Project Zomboid, only clocking in 70 hours in the game, and in all those 70 hours, I've probably died all the time. But to me, the reason why Project Zomboid shines is because of the Steam Workshop. The reason why this video is even possible is because of Wolfshine's extraction quest, which turns the game from a slow, fun-paced sandbox game to a cruel tug-of-war of fighting to survive. Now, let's see if the following gets true. Can a Project Zomboid noob escape Louisville and survive the Knox event? Before anything starts, let's talk about the rules of this challenge. I'll start at West Point, which is arguably the most difficult spawn location of the entire map. From there, the chosen extraction will be Louisville Bridge, the furthest point of the map up north. I'll also start with both the map and radio, and I have 72 hours to get to my extraction. The reason why I'm time gating myself is for two reasons. One, it makes the challenge much more harder, and two, I don't survive very long. For some minor things, my XP multiplier will be multiplied by 5 just to speed things up, and thanks to the more simple traits mod, allowing for more traits, my negative traits will be Owl, Slow Reader, Weak Stomach, both High Thirst and Hearty Appetite, and Uninterested in Ammo Recycling. The reason I chose these negative traits were because it's only shortly after the Knox event, so things should be safe to eat and drink. Also, I'm not spending my time with ammo. I just need to find what I need to get and just get out of there. My positives are Cat's Eyes, which makes me see better at night, Dexterous, which quickens the inventory transfer, Lucky, just to test my luck, Muscle Bag, which boosts my base carry weight by 25%, Strong Bag, which has me carry more weight, and Resilient, which makes me less prone to diseases, but not to the zombification process, which only makes it 25% slower. My occupation is a security guard, which has a +1 to light-footed, a +2 to sprinting, and Night Owl, meaning that I require less sleep. This should go hand to hand with my negative Owl perk, which makes me more efficient in the nighttime. With all the rules explained, let's begin this challenge. It was attempt 1, day 1. My first character was Peter Von Winkelflock, a security guard in West Point. Equipped with a walkie-talkie and a map of the extraction, I made myself some good-ass stir-fry before hitting the road. I also went into the bedroom to see if I could find any more clothes to aid my character in melee combat. A zomboid pounded their head on the window before I swiftly ended their life. I thought that my food was burning, so I ran over to the oven quickly, just to realize it was close to being done, and ended up eating half of it. Armed with only a kitchen knife, I headed out to the neighbors. My main goals for this run was to find enough water to get me through West Point, find enough clothes to protect me from bites and scratches, and find myself a pump-action shotgun. I found some clothes to protect me for the most part, even getting a duffel bag to carry more things in the future. Zombies began breaking down the door though, so I exited by the window. I fought some more zombies, getting some fair resources from them to keep me alive. I even found the bike in the parking lot, which is a huge W. The reason why this bike is important is for two things. One, I don't have a car. And two, it might get me past the military checkpoint that separates Louisville from West Point. Also, thanks to luck, I found the axe on a corpse, which will help me monumentally in the future. I bought some more and entered a food mart, where I ate some fresh food and scored on finding water that helped me with my high thirst. There was also a bunch of canned food to help me with my hunger as well. With that, I took my new bike and traveled into the more populated part of West Point. But I found a zomboid wearing military boots, which granted me complete foot protection from zomboids. Getting closer to the town, I found a police checkpoint that not only had police zomboids there, but also police vehicles, meaning that I was guaranteed to score big here as well. I cleared the area, but not without a slight scare. After the police zombies were dead, I took whatever I could off them, getting a Model 870 MCS and some head armor. The trunk of the first cop car wasn't great, but the second one had a first aid kit, which will help me in the future. At least I hope. I left shortly after and ran into a zombie with a shotgun on his back. I got off my bike to see if I could nab some shells off of it, but I got surrounded shortly after that. I had to cut my losses. It was only a double barrel. Finally, I got to the more urban area of West Point and passed the police station. and because I have the axe, I could break them the security doors and get myself some ammo for Louisville. But no way that was happening today. The police station was covered with zomboids. I decided to go in the night, which would make me more effective in the dark because of my owl trait. After biking for a while, I decided to take shelter in the house I stopped at, but when I started to clear the area, the zombies wouldn't stop coming after the noise that they were making. I was drowsy and also exhausted myself, so I had to bait them into the house I was going to sleep in and circled around to get my bike. Other than being bitten, the worst thing to do in this game is tired. I found a house that didn't have many zomboids in it and temporarily made it mine for the night. However, the neighbors weren't too happy with me and tag teamed me by the front door. Even one broke through the window. But after that, it sounded like I was in the clear, sleeping for the night. I woke up to day 2 with a zomboid banging on my door. I wasn't having it, so I pulled out my shotgun and made my own shot. Day 2 was foggy, and it was also raid the police station day. Only had 72 hours to get to the bridge, and I was still stuck in West Point. I was getting to the police station, but then I hit a car transport from zomboids. I was close enough to the station though, and I was unable to get back on in time, so I left it and went through an alleyway and over a fence to the police station. I opened the trunk and found some shells, which I fumbled hard on. But I still got it nonetheless. I began my raid on the police station. My first place to check was a locker room, as I had a chance to find better pieces of clothing to protect myself from scratches and bites. I broke both security doors down and went to the armory. I found a 38 capacity backpack and a surplus of ammo for my shotgun. However, I will make a grand mistake with taking this backpack. Did you see that? I forgot my canned food and water. Worse than that, zombies began to flood the police station. Either one. I broke away from the swarm and ended up running into a pharma-hug, which would have some medical needs and food because I was getting hungry. So I guess making a pit stop here wouldn't be that bad, right? Well, zombies began flooding that place as well, and the only food that I was able to eat was some snow globes. I also stuffed some bandages and some alcohol wipes in my bag. I played this smart though. I went out the window, around the alley, and back inside by the back door. I reunited with my bike and decided to make a full assault on the police station. Why? Because minutes earlier, I realized, where did my food go? Where did my can opener go? So, I shot, I ran, I flanked. I even picked up this helmet, which has 120 protection against zomboids. Wonderful. I was able to get back inside, get my food and can opener, but that victory will be short-lived. I tried getting back on my bike, but I couldn't find the right spot to interact with it. I tried to kill some zomboid to make myself away, but the worst thing happened to me. Yep, I got bit, and the worst part too, the neck. Not only that, all hope was lost right there. I knew that I wasn't able to get to the Louisville bridge in time. Not only that, if they saw that I was bitten, I'd surely be shot on sight. There was only one way that this was going to end. For the most part, that's usually how my normal zomboid runs end. I spawn at West Point, I get bit, I die. It was a pretty fair attempt, but I didn't win. And I want to win. Let's run it back. My name is Jeff 4-year-old. With a bit more knowledge of how short 72 hours are, I immediately sprung to action. I ate some food, but found no water bottles. So, my first call to action is to find some water bottles. I went from my house to the other house and picked up my first Zomboid, but something felt off. Corrioven was strong, resilient, and most of all, probably the unluckiest lucky person in the world. But this would change. He would make it to that Louisville bridge. He would extract. He will survive. I got bit and died in the bedroom of that same house. That lasted 1 hour. Okay, well, there's Hamster Charm, right?
To anybody on this radio channel, this is a private special operations unit. The world as we know is going to shit. The Nox infection has been confirmed, and riots have been happening in major cities in the US. But we know that there are still desperate survivors in Louisville, and we will be making extractions out of the quarantine. We have helicopters patrolling the Louisville Bridge. If you're able to get past the military checkpoints, use the radio to initiate an extract. It's going to take a while, approximately 3 hours, as we are set up in Milwaukee. If anyone, and I mean anyone, hears this, then this might be the only way out. This is the only way that you'll be able to tell your story. Set this recording to repeat.
Attempt 3, day 1. My next character was...
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
Now before I even commentate what happened this run, I decided to start this run a little bit later in the day, to where instead of starting at 9 AM, I did it at 5 PM, just so it's closer to nighttime. But this also have the trade-off of shaving 8 whole in-game hours off of this run. So instead of 3 days, I kinda have 2.5 days. However, my spawn was pretty lucky. I had a car right off the bat, and the keys were in the glove box. I did what I had to do in West Point, heading over to the police station, but before that, my luck has really maxed out here. This is a sledgehammer. This was my first time ever getting the sledgehammer in my entire 70 hours of playing. And the sledgehammer is probably the best thing that you could get when you want to go to Louisville. The reason why the sledgehammer is so important is because it gives you the destroy, which will destroy any door, wall, or tile in the entire game. It's super slow, but also has the highest chance of stunning a Zomboid. Confidence shot up my bloodstream. I couldn't die with such an important tool. Now, my goal changed from raiding the police station to more of getting the hell out of West Point. When it got much darker, I began my second raid on the police office. I had the same areas in mind, the locker rooms and the armory. But before getting to the armory, I was scratched in my groin. Nothing major, but it slowed my running speed. It was day 2, and 24 hours have already passed. I needed to take advantage of the night. So, I used my car as a way to kill the Zomboids. With all of them dead, I bandaged my groin and ran to the security doors to destroy them. And inside, I found a Spaz 12. Probably the best non-magazine shotgun in the game. Not only was it semi-automatic, but also took 8 shells, the most a non-magazine shotgun could take. Now, I really couldn't die. With the successful police station raid, I set my eyes for the military checkpoint that divided Louisville from the rest of the map. But first, I stopped in the woods with my car, and I woke up to a helicopter. Now, I couldn't tell if it was military or the people on the radio, so I just drove away from it as fast as I could. Now, I was dead set on heading to the checkpoint. I awoke facing 12 a.m. on day 3, meaning that time was really running out. Only had today to get out of Louisville, and the first thing I was sending up was another police station. The reason why was because for the extraction, the game throws a horde at you, and I wanted to be more than prepared for this one. I drove around to find one, and when I did the same as I did in West Point. Found the armory, got myself some ammo, and even another 5.56 gun. After that, I was dead set on getting to the bridge. 1,000 meters, 500 meters, 400, 300, 200, 100. I made it. I made it to the bridge. I did it. All I had to do was fight the horde. Drizzle. Then rain. Then pour on me, which didn't stop me. I fought until I either died or survived. A couple said that it couldn't touch down due to the weather, but it continued to circle around. Finally, the helicopter touched down, and the extraction was ready to be completed.
Just when you think all hope is lost, you see a helicopter hovering over you, closing the distance. You sprint towards it, dodging zombies left and right. As you get closer, you can see the pilot waving frantically, urging you to hurry. You jump and grab onto the landing skids, pulling yourself up just as the helicopter rises into the air. The storm is fierce and the pilot struggles to keep it steady. Suddenly, there's a loud bang, and the helicopter starts to spin out of control. You brace for impact, unsure if you'll survive. Is this gonna be how you died?
Hey, this was my first ever better edited video than the rest of my edited videos. I usually use this channel for more goofy or short content with my friends, but I wanted to try something new. I wanted to try like a challenge video, and I also wanted to try a story type of video. With that, I want to give a quick shout out to Derpy and Payne, who voiced the radio operator in my final run, and also another shout out to my group that I've created with my friends called No Sleep Needed. Our first video is 1 hour and 20 minutes long if you want to see our descent into madness, which is something I also edited. Also on the left, you'll see Derpy's new video, which is a Minecraft scavenger hunt. It's actually doing really good as of right now, so if you want to also give Derpy some support, you could subscribe to him as well and like the video. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know if you want me to continue the story of...
Yo, Pierre, you want to come out here?
But that's all from me, and thank you for watching all the way through.